What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Booth Podcast, the podcast where we talk about life, love, and the deep topics that you can't talk about with anyone else. We just recently came back from a small hiatus, roughly around 2 months. And for those of you who do not know us, my name is Ken, along with my co-host
Dom, and we've actually upgraded our equipment to the Rodecaster Pro and the Rode Pod mics. This is allowing us to create better quality content because we used to record on my crappy laptop on Audacity, and we had this brand called Newer, which the microphone quality wasn't the best. And now I actually love the equipment that we have in front of us, and we hope to create better quality content for you guys. We're now switching it up to one podcast episode a week and one short film a month.
With that being said, we hope you guys like, comment, subscribe on this video, tune into our Spotify, and follow our socials down in the description below for any future updates of videos and news. And let's get right into the video. Yo, let's show some Philippine respect to Olivia Rodrigo.
Yes, sir.
Dude, 17-year-old Filipina, released her debut single called Driver's License and became the #1 in the Billboard Top 100.
Oh, wow.
Like, dude, that's crazy to me. Like, 17 years old?
And she's like the #1 in the world, basically.
Yeah.
Dude, and like she, not only was this song like #1, I'm pretty sure she idolizes Taylor Swift. And for her to like top Taylor, that's a big accomplishment, like beating your idol. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's like a dream.
That is a dream. And so like, yeah, no, dude, the song is amazing. It's like even if you're happy and you listen to it, you just feel
that was us.
Yeah, you just feel being heartbroken. And like, not only has she done this once in her debut, but she also wrote All I Want, which is like the song that she created for High School Musical, the series. And it is also
big tongue twister.
Yeah,
yes.
and it also relates to heartbreak, and it's like it resonates with you, even if you are happy, even if you're in a healthy relationship. Like this is both her songs are just great, and it was awesome hearing that. And if you guys don't know, which you guys should know, is that there's actually a theory running behind this song that it's about her quote unquote relationship with Joshua Bassett, her co-star, and how they couldn't be together, and how he basically went with Sabrina Carpenter because there was some false promising that they would end up together.
Yeah.
It's really great if the theory is true. It's great to hear that she was able to convert those feelings of heartbreak into
like a proper coping mechanism.
Like passion and I mean, is it repressing her, her feelings? No, it's more of like she is feeling those things and putting it out through passion, which I think was beautiful. Like, I think I read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, where it goes, passion is made of two things, love and anger. So it's nice to know that she put those feelings of love and anger through music, even if she may or may not be feeling those things. I know for me, putting in that feeling, those feelings of heartbreak into something you're passionate about is a major thing in the healing process of it all. I don't know about you, but for me, going through a heartbreak, breakup in high school, I put so much love into a person that I didn't know how to love myself. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that you'll feel is that you put in love to someone else and not yourself. Yeah. And so after that, I realized I have nothing now. And that's not a good feeling. You don't want that. And so I had to find a way to love myself more, and that was building through my insecurities. I felt skinny and I didn't like the way I looked, so I started lifting weights, started eating more to look bigger. And
man's gonna get these.
Yeah, man. Putting my heartbreak into passion of learning how to be more fit and fitness overall. Got back into a sport I loved, actually, Taekwondo. Yeah. Just getting into the MMA scene as well. And now I'm back on my feet. I'm in film school too. That was a passion I thought I had, and I'm exploring that currently. Passion is love and anger combined, and through heartbreak, I think you find it the most. You know what I mean? Have you ever had that? Like it's just like you don't know what to do with your life right now. Yeah. Like I don't know about you. Like
it's like to take your loss.
Yeah.
Sense, trying to find yourself. Like, damn, I gave so much now, but just as you said, like, who am I? And I guess for me, it was harder.
Why?
I don't know. I wasn't that much into fitness, but then hanging out with you guys just helped it a lot. I'd say. So like, fitness does help in a sense. So for those of you who aren't into fitness, I suggest going into it. I'm not forcing you or anything, but like it's like a great way to get out of everything because you just want to get stronger and bigger and prove everyone,
just feeling stronger physically is like it makes you feel stronger than the feelings of weakness that you had in that heartbreak, I think that's a great way of putting it. And for anyone out there, like if you're feeling those feelings of heartbreak and you don't know what to do, like you've loved so much, again, like me, like you've loved someone so much that now you're in a state where how do I love someone, or how do I love myself now, because I don't know
like you lost a piece of yourself.
So let yourself feel those feelings, cope with it in any way that you can. Have a friend over, listen to Driver's License, listen to All I Want, and then dive back into life and finding ways of building on your insecurities if you have any, and which you're human, you should, and also just finding what you're passionate about. Because at the end of the day, the only constant in life is really you. So finding what you're passionate about also puts something in that place of emptiness that you're feeling.
Future success story right here, guys.
Yes, sir. Every heartbreak is a success story waiting to happen.
Just the start of it all.
Yes, sir.
So in light of recent events, Conor McGregor, lost his rematch to Dustin Poirier by knockout. And obviously, that's the first time he's been knocked out in the UFC. And seeing your reaction right now, you're kind of taking this as a tough loss, just as he is. So, how you feel about this, man?
Fuck you. This was a tough one, man. It was like he says, gut wrenching. And just off topic, real quick, I commented on his Instagram.
You just have to put that in there.
I commented on his Instagram, and don't comment on your on someone so controversial, because then you get a lot of hate comments coming back at you.
Like, what was one prominent hate comment?
Oh, I got a DM calling me a ching chong ching.
Oh,
and that I should leave the country, and that I eat dogs. So thank you for that. It was some guy from some European kid. I don't know. Thank you for that.
Fuck
but yeah, no, this was a tough one, because we had him in the first half. No, I paid for this pay-per-view, and
that's funny.
I mainly paid for Conor, but I paid also just to watch the other fighters, because there was a I forgot what division it was for the females, but they had a great fight, and obviously the debut of Michael Chandler was a great fight. He really shook us up, like he destroyed in his first debut, but. Yeah, no, then it gets to the Conor fight, and you're like, my nerves were shaking. My whole body was shaking that night, and me and my brother were just watching this like, no. Oh, watch out. Like, it felt like we were a Filipino tita watching a Manny Pacquiao fight. Because, no, that was me, bro. I was like, ay, bumagsak! My nerves throughout that whole fight were just like, I was a mess. And, obviously, like you said, got knocked out. And it was his first time being knocked out in the ring. So that was very shocking for me. Considering he did also come off from a long hiatus. It was a year ago since he fought. And in that year, but in that year in 2020, when he had that first fight of the year, he also came off from a longer hiatus, which was 2 years. And that in that 2-year hiatus, he knocked out Cowboy Cerrone, who was like one of the top fighters, has the most records in the UFC. And, he was knocked easily by Conor in 40 seconds, making Conor like not only to have a featherweight, lightweight, but now a welterweight knockout on his record. He made history there. So,
dang, bro.
No, seeing him lose.
Yeah.
And it was a tough
Didn't he
one.
put like a bunch of work into like this fight?
Oh, yeah. No, if you guys ever watched like him train, Conor was he has now a boxing coach, which was great in an aspect if you were going into a boxing match, but he pulled a boxing like style to his fighting instead of the usual bouncing and around, very casual and flowy karate style that he originally had. He used to come up with a long stance, which kind of makes you more threatening and able to control the ring. Now he had this very stiff, As he, you know what he said before?
What?
He goes, he was in the featherweight and he was going to the lightweight and he goes, you know, I look at that lightweight division and they're stiff. They look stiff.
I love how you're doing the accent.
And it looks stiff. You know, it's like they're in mud almost. My accent's terrible at the moment, but yeah. You know, he said they were stiff and then he ended up showing up to a Dustin Poirier fight looking stiff. So it was a tough loss, honestly.
Tough loss
to watch. Yeah.
Have you experienced anything like that? Like putting excessive amount of work and just
dude, like
all of it coming down.
Honestly, I think this was one of that pinnacle moment because when I was watching the fight, I put it to myself, you know, because I see a lot of myself in Conor. Not the confident, cocky side, but you know the passion for martial arts, and I was very passionate in around grade 7. Coming off like Conor in a win, you know, I got a gold medal in my last tournament. I came first place, and now I'm walking into this tournament looking to secure the gold again, but this time in a different division. Now I'm back. I became a black belt. So coming into that that tournament, I had high hopes of securing the gold again, because again, when you put in the hard work and you also come off a win, it's almost as expected to go on a streak. You know, come off from a win, get another win. It's just like, it's easy, you know. With hard work comes easy work, as they say. And so after that loss, that huge loss, in my opinion, I felt like it erupted into other things. I feel like I'm slowly recovering from that loss, but it also like just created a lot of insecurities for me. I lost by points in that match, but he wasn't able to walk by the end of that match. Yeah, we clashed. We clashed in one of our kicks, and my kick, whenever I fought, which is not the point of Taekwondo, but I really wanted to break this guy. Not the mentality to have, by the way, if you're in Taekwondo, but you know,
remind me to never get in a fight with you, eh?
I brought in an MMA mindset into a Taekwondo match, and that was wrong. But yeah, no, that loss was detrimental, and it carried on to everything in my life, and I feel like that's kind of where it all started, which not a good thing, but yeah.
I mean, are there any ways you were able to kind of overcome it?
Like,
or it's like step by step?
Oh, 100%. Like, maybe not step by step, but it just happened naturally because, again, when you're a kid, you kind of just don't know that this almost created like a domino effect. You know, it was the start of many failures to come, and failures kind of just create more character. So I look at it as a blessing now. I was able to come back and overcome that fear of, you know, losing, and I come back into Taekwondo. I start training again, and I start competing with other people again. I even like start getting into jiu-jitsu, and I handled this one severe loss differently. You know, I put more time into training again, and I fought that guy again, and beat him. And actually, it was the day before we met up. I came with like a bruised face, and I was just that match also had me crying because, you know, you feel, again, with excessive work, you feel very confident leading into things, and when things don't go your way, it's heartbreaking. But I spent a few months, you know, really learning jiu-jitsu, and I beat that guy in like 13 seconds. Wow. It was amazing. He's a bigger guy, and he's coming in pushing me, and, you know, he gave me the neck, and I
was like some David and Goliath type of thing.
Dog, it was. he definitely weighed like 180. And I'm a 145er, so dude. He's a heavy guy.
Oh my god!
And he pushed me around. It was great.
So yeah, dude, that's a good story though.
Yeah, I know, it was a lot.
So yeah, you're like you are like the biggest Conor McGregor fan that I do know. You know, you're doing the accent and whatever and whatnot, man. Yes. So like, what do you think is next for him? Because obviously I'm not in that scene.
Yeah, of course. No, if you are a Conor McGregor fan, and if you are Conor McGregor, you kind of want that rematch. Like, I want to see that rematch. I want him to destroy, as awesome as Dustin Poirier is, I want him to destroy him, and I want him to get a chance at getting the lightweight belt. You know, before I thought he was going to beat him and then get into a fight with Khabib. You were there when you watched the Khabib fight with me, and I was heartbroken there too. That one was a tough one. But yeah, no, I want him to come back, and I want him to destroy Dustin. I want him to lead on into more lightweight fights because the competition is actually insane. I would want that rematch, but if it doesn't go that way, I want Conor to start from the bottom. I want him to fight Tony Ferguson, which is a match that everyone wants to see as well, and I want him to build up that ladder, beat Charles Oliveira, beat Michael Chandler, and then again, Dustin Poirier. So
Mhm.
what's next for him is I know I'm putting out a lot of names that you don't know, but
That's good. That's okay though.
no, but like yeah, I want him to come back stronger and better than ever, like everyone else should,
Mhm.
you know.
Expecting bigger and bigger things from him.
Yeah, man, because when you come off the best, you gotta prove yourself again.
Yeah.
He did that in 2016. He lost to Nate, which was again like tough. Like I
Mhm.
remember his coach even said it was like 140 days they didn't see him. He like he went off the grid, and then right away right after he went back into training. You know, he
Mhm.
coped with that, and then he was like, you know what, this is who I am.
Mhm.
You know, especially now, I want to see that come from him because he has everything.
Mhm.
You know, what do you do when you have everything? I don't know if you watched like a Rocky match, like a Rocky 3, but
Mhm.
his coach Mickey goes, "You become civilized, kid." So it's like, how do you come up from, being privileged, being
Mhm.
spoiled? What's left for you if you've accomplished everything? So
Mhm. Wow.
that's the big question you have to answer.
Dude.
There's a lot, right? I know.
Dude, just can't wait for the next fight though.
Oh, we're watching it together. Pay-per-view. I'm paying it again. I don't care.
Yo, in a couple months, bro, I'm expecting like a huge Filipino party coming up.
Why? we're under COVID. What are you talking about?
Dude, the Ryan and Manny Pacquiao fight coming in. Dude, like I know we're in COVID, but like if things clear up by then, dude, I expect like a huge ass party.
Yeah. And if it doesn't, that would be kind of sad considering it might be Pacquiao's last fight.
Oh, really?
I mean, maybe. I know he said he'll do one more, but like he's getting old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't see. I might just have to train Janelle and get him in there so we have more of those nights. I don't know.
But dude, besides like the whole fight, like I'm mostly excited for the party part, just cause like I'm not that big like into like fighting and everything, right? But like I enjoy the Filipino parties, like hearing like the titas yell, the titos like trying to pretend like ay bumagsak, let hook,
like
all that, and then cousins or babies running around, like that was a vibe, bro.
I know, man. Like I think all Filipinos can relate to like always coming together and reuniting with their family simply just to watch, the Filipino pride Manny Pacquiao fight. And he's had amazing fights in the past. And now he's going to be fighting our generation's Instagram boxer, Ryan Garcia. I mean, I don't know how to feel about this fight, to be honest with you. It's a weird one.
Why?
I don't know if you guys know this, but this is me being a boxing fan because I grew up watching Manny Pacquiao, but like really getting into it. And so Manny Pacquiao actually retired one of his idols, which was Oscar De La Hoya, who, if I'm not wrong, Ryan Garcia is under promotion of.
I'm not too sure.
If not him, it could be Canelo, but I'm not entirely sure on that end. But yeah, so Pacquiao retired Oscar De La Hoya, who was his idol at the time. And now Ryan Garcia is fighting his idol, Manny Pacquiao. So it almost feels like everything's coming full circle in a way of like, beating your idol. And it sounds very interesting. It's a very interesting
what about
story.
statistically? Who do you think is going to win?
Statistically, who's going to win? Well, you kind of have Ryan Garcia's a great fighter. Like, let's not take that away from him. He's young. He's hungry. But you're also fighting one of the greatest of all times. Manny Pacquiao is the greatest. He has so many great fighters under his belt. He has Floyd Mayweather. He has Timothy Bradley twice. Ricky Hatton, who he freaking destroyed flawlessly. Margarito, who was a taller fighter and stronger fighter.
Oh, I remember that fight. Nice.
He bloodied his face so bad, like it was just not fair at this point. And then he also beat Cotto. Cotto was a great fight. Marquez 3 times. Like he has a lot of great fights. And I remember, like if you ever watch Manny Pacquiao going up professionally, he was just always beating Mexicans. Like they called him, they literally called him like the Mexican killer. Like he was just like that good. And so Ryan likes to talk about his Mexican blood. So I don't know how this fight will go.
He might be next on the list. You never know.
He might be next on the list.
I mean, if he does beat Pacquiao, like you beat the boxer. You also beat
an
old senator,
man,
bro.
An old man in politics. Yes.
Oh, it's so crazy. He's a fighter. He's a boxer, and a senator for the Philippines.
Yeah, he's done so much. He's like, I don't know. He's like that one guy, like the nicest guy you don't want to fight.
Oh yeah, that's
you don't want to
true,
hit
that's
him. You don't want to cause any trouble.
true.
That's why I think Ryan Garcia actually said he's not gonna say anything about Pacquiao. Like he's not gonna talk trash at all, considering that is his idol and he respects him a lot. And Pacquiao doesn't even. I don't think he'll even understand if you talk trash. Like I remember a lot of fighters coming up, like Adrian Broner, Adrian Broner, and do you remember the video?
It's like, yeah, I might be like what 2-7 or something, whatever his record was.
And he talked trash to the commentator. Yeah, no, that's a silly guy. But yeah, no,
he said like that won't make any difference.
But yeah, like a guy like Adrian Broner, and recently Keith Thurman, who was undefeated and the champ. Pacquiao made him look like he was just a little boy in the ring, you know. And what makes you think that Pacquiao won't do the same thing to Ryan Garcia, other than how he showcases himself online? And I don't know, like if you I don't know if you watched the most recent Ryan Garcia fight against Luke Campbell.
Nah, I haven't.
A lot of people like to say, wow, this kid talks a lot on Instagram, and seeing him get knocked down, let's go. Like a lot of people just talking mad trash. And if he was to get knocked down by a guy like Luke Campbell, imagine a guy like Pacquiao, a guy that's fought many of the greatest. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a very tough one.
I don't know. All I'm saying is like I'm just excited to see this fight, bro.
Yeah, no. Being a fan and being a Filipino, you have to be excited about Manny Pacquiao fighting again and fighting one of the biggest upcoming stars right now. As a Ryan Garcia fan, though, I mean, like the more and more that I hear Ryan talk, the more and more I'm slowly fading away as a fan. If you know Ryan, he talks a lot, and he talked a lot of trash on a podcast, Mike Tyson's podcast. Actually,
what did he say?
Just like, Tank, I'm gonna knock you out in round, like the second round, 2 rounds, baby, 2 rounds. And even like Mike Tyson actually FaceTimed.
Yeah.
Tank.
I saw that clip.
Gervonta Davis is a bad man. He has probably the best knockout of like 2020. That slip uppercut, like that was insane timing. And apparently, I didn't watch that fight, but apparently commentator said he looked like he was almost losing that round, and for him to come up in that last second is scary. Gervonta Davis is a scary man, and he's under Mayweather. Ryan Garcia's under Canelo. I wanted that fight to happen. If you're like a real boxing fan, you want that fight to happen. You want one or the other to shut each other up. Yeah. Both undefeated, both killing it, both young, both champs. That's the fight you want to see. So,
dude, I'd love to see that fight too.
So I'm disappointed that he wants to fight, but at the same, I don't know. If you're a Filipino, you're excited. If you're a boxing fan,
all the way.
Yeah.
I don't know much.
If you're a Filipino, you're excited. If you're a boxing fan, you think this is just for money and clout. So, but yeah, that's my way of looking at the fight. So, I said it all.
You said it all. What more can I say?
All right. So I recently got into money, and like, I mean, he knows as if you're just a viewer and you don't know, I have never been one to be into money. I always thought like money wasn't happiness. I led myself to believe that over and over. But, being friends with Kenneth for a while, he's always been that guy that's been into money. And now recently is only because, budgeting and saving money, like I'm really bad at that, right? And for all of this time in our friendship, I've always known that you've been into money, but I just don't know why. Like, what motivates you to be so into money? And I think the viewers will be interested into that.
So, the way I was driven is because being raised by a single independent parent, immigrant parent actually, and having 3 children was always hard. We had to constantly depend on others for our financial situations. And growing up, I just hated seeing that, right? Like, just seeing my mom struggle generally, right? And being like 8 to 10 years old, or even before I was able to actually like get a job, knowing I couldn't do much to help her, like it tormented me, right? Like it hurt me a lot. And I just wanted to stop that. I wanted to like free like my mom's burden that she's carrying, and I knew that money was the way to do that, because that's always where our problems always started the root of, right? And I'd say everything started my first year university at Oak University, because I was in there for industrial design, right?
Yeah.
And dude, I hated it. Like, I'm gonna be blunt. I hated that.
Yeah.
But anyways, and just one time, it was during a project and assignment, and I only did a portion of it. or half of it, I'd say, teacher went up to me, is like, "You don't belong in this school," and
What a guy.
dude, yeah, like I was like, I looked up to my classmate, like, "Did you hear that?" Like, yeah, he said.
Yeah, like
what he
could you
said.
imagine like
Mm-hmm.
choosing to be a designer and
Yeah.
then at like the top designing school or like art school they tell you,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you don't belong here.
Yeah, but like, don't get it twisted though. Like, a lot of people see this like bad, right? But I'm like, hey, thank you.
Yeah,
You know, I'm like, this
yeah.
was my epiphany moment, like God telling me, like, you don't belong here.
Mm.
You know, like, you're more better off in business because you know how to work a business better than you know how to like design and make products and whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess from there it started off. But the root of it all started when I was younger, seeing my mom in a position where she had to constantly ask for money and taking in a bunch of our relatives just to pay rent and put food on the table. And it was tough, right? And seeing her struggle, like, she'd eat less just so she can feed us more.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so like that was the closest I've ever been to being broke. There were times where we were close to actually getting evicted because we weren't able to pay rent. And seeing all of it now, right? Okay, I have a job, or I mean, once I got a job, I was able to see the value of money. But obviously, being a teenager, I kind of blew it off on like unnecessary
Yeah,
stuff.
of course.
Like, come on, dude, I bought a bunch of shoes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Then regretted it later, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
And I just had poor money management. I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate to that. And yeah, like, I saw money as a tool that can be used to create financial freedom. And that's always how I've always seen it ever since reading Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Shout out Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Oh yeah, Robert Kiyosaki.
It's the book that
Mhm.
I guess the both of us could recommend if you
Mhm.
want to learn more about money
Yeah,
and be financial literate.
yeah, like, dude, like, for those of you who don't know, like, you should really start learning more into it. The way I started was reselling shoes. Actually, like, I was never big into shoes, but going into high school, I learned more about it. Like, oh, I kind of wanted to be popular. I'll admit that. Like, come on,
Yeah.
you know.
course.
And when you're kind of like, kind of broke with no money, it's like hard, you know. And so reselling shoes was one way. My first pair of shoes I sold was fake,
Nice.
but I profited.
nice.
So it's not really a bad thing, but there are other ways. And after switching my program to business, I just accelerated like my knowledge more and knowing what can make me money. So now I do more stocks. Thinking of starting, like, I have upcoming soon, like, clothing brand or a bit, personal customization, and much more planned for like the future.
Speaking of the future, like
Mhm.
I because like whenever anyone has like money goals, they just go, honestly, I just want to be free. Like I just want to have enough money to pay my bills, to pay for what I want, the luxuries,
Mhm.
But what is your goal? Because you're such a different individual in
Mhm.
terms of that. Like money, again, like you know how to use money as an asset. You have this almost like an origin story. So what is the drive? What is the motivation? What is the goal?
My main goal in life, to quote Bruno Mars, was to be a billionaire. But yeah, on serious note, I do want to be a billionaire, and I will be a billionaire.
Yes, sir.
Putting
You
that
gotta
out
add
there.
I will.
Yeah, for those, change that I want to I will. Trust me, it proves a lot. Changes. But yeah, I will be a billionaire. I'm going to move my mom to Philippines because she misses her home, and I want to buy a house for her and buy a bunch of houses for my relatives in Philippines for a better life, and invest in the art and youth culture in Toronto, as well as build many schools in third world countries, and create financial stability for my family and my kids' kids. That's the dream, bro.
That's a crazy dream. Like, and putting it out there, like, it's awesome to hear you say these things, and because knowing Kenneth, a lot of the times that he says he's gonna do things, he goes out and does them, and it's not like he's not putting in like the minimal effort. He's putting in the most effort to create that possibility and make it a reality. I was just in a class, and they had a speaker who actually was the executive producer of Schitt's Creek, and someone asked him, like, was it all luck?
Yeah.
And like, I find that to be, I was like, that sounds so disrespectful. Like, saying anything is luck when you know yourself that when you've had all these downfalls and you've put in the hard work through your failures, this was not fucking luck. You know what I mean? And he said, well, no, like, I put in the hard work. I was in a better position so that when the opportunity came and presented itself, I was ready for that. And so like that's just one thing to take out of this is like it's not, you know,
It's
be
not easy.
lucky. Wait for the lottery ticket, because no one successful has ever been successful. Luckily, they've either have only two things. They've come from like rich, you know, upcomings. You know, mom and dad was just like that good, or they worked super hard at what they wanted and, you know, made their goals a reality.
And respect to those who like have like those stories.
I really do believe in Kenneth, and you know, Kenneth has also been like a friend that has supported me throughout, you know, the past 2-3 years, and now I believe in myself a lot more. So again, thank you for that.
Yeah, the key thing, believe in yourself.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Booth Podcast, episode 13, I believe, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Please like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tune into our Spotify. Follow us on Spotify. Share us with a friend. And our socials will be in the description below. Follow us there. And that's been it. That's been your host, Dom.
And Ken. And we hope you guys have a good day, evening, or wherever you are.
Peace out.